Heidi ho there, friends and neighbors. Bobby here tonight. This is our second prime time question and answer show. All right, so let's get started. We'll be here for about 30 minutes tonight, friends. I see we have a couple people out there waiting. Thank you for being here. And we're going to try to answer your, let me check my volume here. Yep, I can hear myself, so I'm hoping that you guys can hear me too. If you can't, please let me know. Just send me a little chat right quick. But anyway, we'll be trying to answer your questions on automobiles. If you have a problem with your car or a question about something, I'll try my best to answer that for you. And also, if you have any questions about home improvement or anything like that, you can feel free to ask that. Maybe I can help you out. If I don't know the answer, I'm sorry. But anyway, I will try my best. And also, I want to go ahead and remind everybody while we're waiting on our first question, we do have a new email address, and that is minthillbillymail@aol.com. And if you want to, if I don't get to your question tonight, I don't know how many people we'll have on here. We had about 10 people on here last week, but I think I answered everyone's question. But if I miss something or don't answer it, just send that question to me to that email address, and I will take a look at them later and hopefully be able to email you back. Another thing going on, guys, we have the drawing for the tool set that you can see here for patrons on Patreon. And you got till midnight tonight to sign up for Patreon, and you will be entered in that drawing that we will do tomorrow. And we will give away that tool set to one lucky winner. Okay, it's a 34-piece DeWalt 3/8 drive tool set. It has a 3/8 ratchet, a couple extensions, and some sockets to go along with it. Okay, probably about a $30 or $40 value. I'm not real sure, but anyway, it's something we wanted to give away. And you can sign up on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Okay, so just wanted to let you know about that. And guys, we are, like I said, on Patreon, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, and there will be links down below if you would like to follow us on those. Okay. Do we have any questions out there today, friends and neighbors? I see we have 5 people here. Don't be shy. You can ask me anything you want. Well, within certain guidelines. Okay? Let's see here. I'll tell you a little bit till we get a first question. I'll let you know what we've been working on this week. We've had a lot of rain, as I've told you, around here. I think I told you that last Saturday night on the live show. But we finally got a break in it yesterday, and I was able to get out there and start painting on the front of the house. I got all the trim one-coated yesterday all across the front of the house. Got up early this morning. I looked on my phone. They were calling for some thunderstorm activity around 2 p.m. And so I said, well, I'm going to get out there and just do what I can. I got up about 8, and I got everything double coated probably by 10:30 or so. The second coat always goes on a little easier. Got that done, and then I looked at my forecast, and it said that chance of storms had moved later in the day. So I said, I'm going to keep on painting. So I started with my other color that I have to do on that area that I done the video on the wood repair. Started cutting it out and everything, and getting it cut in with the color and everything. And didn't quite get finished. Actually wore out. I got wore out is what I did, climbing up and down that ladder all day. So at about 4 o'clock I quit for today. And what I got left I can easily take care of tomorrow. So the house will be painted finally, and it'll be complete. All I got left to do is trim out some windows, and I think we're going to replace some. So we're kind of debating. That's why we held off on painting the windows as we went. But and if I do replace some windows, we'll definitely have some how-to videos on doing window replacement with replacement windows, okay? Because that's what we'll be using. But anyway, guys, I'm ready for some questions anytime you're ready to start asking, okay? So anyway, Hold on, I got me a big old glass of sweet tea here today. I just made me a big old pitcher of sweet tea. It was hot out there today. I still can't get enough to drink. But so I've been drinking tea and water all this evening. But let's see. Is there anything else to talk about? Okay. I should have had some props. I was thinking about bringing in some tools in case there was any of the, I got this young mechanic series that I have on here where I'm, trying to help these young guys that are maybe thinking about becoming mechanics, or maybe they're already in a shop working as a mechanic. Trying to make sure those guys don't get too far in tool debt right off the bat. So anytime I can think of a video talking about tools or something like that, I always try to throw that on here. And I meant to bring in a few tools that I could show those guys, but I didn't. Maybe next time I'll have that ready to go when we do a live show. But anyway, I'm waiting for a question. If anyone has one, please fire away. Alrighty. And we'll wait just a moment for that. Okay, we got a question here. Let's see, what kind of brush do you use? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Hang on just a moment. I'm going to run over here. I want to show you something. This is actually something I was really wanting to talk about. I was thinking about making a video about it. I'm going to walk away from the camera for just one moment, guys. Okay, I'm back, guys. All right, I was thinking about this today when I was painting. One of the handiest brushes that I own is this little 1" by 1" square, or maybe it's like 3/4 by 3/4 square brush, and it's got like an angle tip on it. This is a handy little brush, okay? I mean, you're not going to sit here and paint a whole house with this one brush, but I'm talking about getting in a corner, cutting you a nice line, around the window or anything. This right here is definitely something you need in your toolbox, okay? And I bought this at Home Depot. I think it's about, $10 brush, $10 to $15 brush. And I will actually, let's see, you look at that right there. Zebra. It looks like a Z with an I upside down. Zebra, I guess is how you pronounce that. That's one brand. I had one time before, I believe it was a different brand. They both work just as well. I'll try to find a link to put down below. Maybe find one off Amazon if you guys want to click and buy one yourself. These are handy for indoor painting and outdoor painting. I've had, like I said, I had another one before this. I couldn't find it, so I bought this one when I started doing this project here. But this is a very handy brush to have. I use that in combination with a 4" brush. If I really just got it, like if I'm in a corner, like come down to boxing, and I just want to get some material on there pretty quick. And then I use a 4" roller. So those three items stay out there with me while I'm painting. The small brush, the 4" brush, and a 4" roller. And what I do is just, another little helpful tip is I take like a Ziploc sandwich bag, and if I climb up the ladder to do some cutting out with this brush, I come back down, I put it in a Ziploc bag, lay it on my little table that I move around the house outside while I'm painting, and have my roller that's already in a Ziploc bag. Go up there and do my roller. I just keep everything in a Ziploc bag. That keeps it from drying, your paint drying on your brushes while you're out there painting. And minimizes washing out of the brushes too. I mean, I don't wash brushes during the day, and actually this one I did wash out tonight, but my roller is still in the Ziploc bag. I know I got to go back out there and paint tomorrow. There's no use in washing out all that good paint that was in that roller, and or throwing it away or whatever. Try to save money on paint. Paint is very expensive. So anyway, that was a good question, and hopefully, this is a great little brush to have in your toolbox for anytime you're doing any type of outdoor painting or indoor painting. Cut around a door jamb when you're painting a bedroom or something. cutting around a nice line up at the ceiling. It works really good for that. All right, any more questions out there? We have 5 people with us here this evening. I want to thank all of you for being here with us. And maybe if y'all would like to just tell me where you're from, you know, just shoot a little thing on there, say, hey, I'm from Oklahoma, or or where you're located at tonight. All right. I want to thank you for being here. All right. Betty H says she's from El Paso. Awesome. Okay, so we got someone from Texas here tonight. That's awesome. The great state of Texas. I've often thought that if there's another place that I wanted to live, Texas would definitely be in my top 5 to move to Texas. So, all right. And she gives me a thumbs up. Awesome. That's cool. All righty. Any more questions, folks? Feel free to ask. We got 7 people here with us now. Awesome. Hello out there to all of you. Betty told me where she was from. If anybody else would like to let me know where you're from, that would be awesome. And while you're doing that, we'll let you know that new email address is minthillbillymail@aol.com. If you have a question tonight that I don't get to, please feel free to shoot me an email, and I will try to answer that sometime later this evening or tomorrow. We are doing a drawing for one lucky patron on Patreon. We'll be doing that drawing tomorrow for this 34-piece DeWalt tool set. And you have until midnight tonight to sign up on Patreon. Okay, and you can do that for as little as $1 a month. Also, guys, we are on Facebook and Twitter, and we will have links down below for all of those if you'd like to follow us there. All right, Pablo says he is in Jersey. All right, cool, awesome. Speaking of Jersey, I sold my motorcycle to a man from Jersey. He sure was. Sold my Harley about sometime last year, and the fellow that bought it was from New Jersey. When he first contacted me, I thought it might have been one of them Craigslist scams or something, you know, someone being that far away. But it turned out it was not, and the gentleman, he went through with the deal, and he was a really nice fella, and I still keep in touch with him to this day. Really nice guy. So, and he was from Jersey. He come down here with his buddy, and they were both super great guys. Super great guys. Come down, loaded up the bike, and took it back to a new home. All right. Do we have any questions? You can ask questions about, if you have car questions about your car. I do have a little bit of experience with automobiles. I have been working on them for about 30 years, okay? So hopefully I can answer your questions on that. If you have any questions about home improvement, I will try my best to answer that as well. And if I don't know the answer, I will just tell you I don't. All right, Pablo says, I have a Kia Sedona 2009 and have a PO420 code. Okay, PO420 is a Bank One CAT code, okay? On that vehicle, I'm assuming it's a 6-cylinder. Well, it could be a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder. It's going to be, do you know if it's, can you tell me if it's a 6-cylinder or not? Because I want to tell you where the CAT's located. If it's just a 4-cylinder, it's the only, okay, so it is a 6-cylinder, okay. And I believe on a Kia that Bank One, don't hold me to this, okay, is on the back side of the engine, all right? And it's going to be the CAT coming off of the cylinder head on the back side of the engine. It's going to be that CAT. It's probably the problem. PO420 stands for CAT Inefficiency Code, okay? And the you have an O2 sensor before that CAT and after that CAT, all right? And it has tolerances built into that computer. It knows what it wants to see as far as differences between the readings on those 202 sensors. And when that cat starts getting, sometimes they start breaking away on the inside, and it starts, it gives it, when that specification gets out of range, it triggers that light to come on. Okay. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to replace the cat. Okay. It's got to where for some reason or another it's not doing its job, and that's why the 202 sensors are, they're reading something that the computer says, hey, let's turn the light on because there's a problem with this cat. Okay. And uh, there are, I have heard some people say they have put cleaners, in the gas tank, that they make cleaners at the parts store that you could run through your fuel system and hopefully clean the cat. But I don't take a whole lot of stock in that. I've replaced so many of them that I've seen what happens inside. Like if you can see inside the cat, it looks like a real fine honeycomb mesh inside there. I mean, that's what the inside of a cat looks like. And you will see where some of that stuff starts like melting. It looks like it's kind of melted and sort of clogging. And that's what they look like when they start going bad and they start getting inefficient. So there we go. And Pablo says that I put a cleaner and the engine light went away for about 2 weeks, but then the light came back on. Okay. Well, like I said, that's probably why. I mean, sometimes those cleaners just do not work very well. I've had some people say, yeah, they work fine and it gets me through state inspection every year if I run a can of this through there or whatever. But you're probably, depending on how bad that cat is, you'll probably end up having to go ahead and replace that. Probably what happened there was, you probably cleared the light, right? And you put the stuff in there and you drove it until it went through its readiness cycle, and then it kicked that light back on. Is probably what happened. Because sometimes catalysts can take a good bit of driving to get that monitor system to set, as well as evap. Evap is usually the one that takes the longest. So it may have taken, I don't know how many miles you drove in that 2 week period, but it could have just been the fact that it never really done any good to start with. It just, as soon as you cleared it and it went back through the cycle, when it saw what it didn't want to see, it kicked the light back on. Alrighty, I hope I answered that question satisfactory. And if you guys have any more questions, just fire away. We have 6 people here this evening. And we got 3 likes. That's awesome. Thank you for the likes, guys. All right. Well, you are welcome, Pablo. You are welcome, sir. He thanked me. All righty. So, guys, once again, new email address, minthillbillymail@AOL. And it kind of rhymes, okay? So hopefully that'll be easy to remember for you. And we do have the drawing for the tool set here tomorrow. We will have one lucky winner, one patron on Patreon that will win that tool set. All right. Any more questions out there, guys? All righty. And since this got brought up tonight as well, I will find a link, and there'll be a link down below for this little paintbrush, okay? And I may be doing a video, I may do a little video on showing you how easy this is to use here in the up and coming weeks or so. Because I still got a lot of painting to do. I mean, although the house is done, and I'm tickled to death about that, we still have a garage, okay? And there's actually more stuff to paint on the garage because it has siding on it. So we've got a lot of painting to do still. And some more wood replacement as well. I've looked around, I got some fascia board that needs to be replaced. So I think that's about all I'm going to have to do. I don't think I'm going to have to do anything with any soffits or anything, but I definitely got some fascia board I have to replace. And possibly maybe a boxing block or two at the corner. Looks like it's got a little bit of wood rot on that. So we might actually tear into the box, and we might actually replace a section of some 2x4 underneath there. And I'll show you how we'll maybe try to scab a piece in place or something if need be. We'll see what we end up getting into once we get out there on that project. Okay, we got another question here from Pablo. Should I replace the rotors every time I change the brake pads? Okay, good question. Um, I have always felt like a proper brake job is replacing pads and machining rotors or replacing them. Okay, that's a proper brake job. All right, and of course, checking your calipers, lubricating the slides, lubricating all your hardware, that is a proper brake job. So I'm not a big fan of what some people in the industry call a pad slap, okay, which is simply just replacing the pads on a vehicle. Because what happens is the rotors will develop a hardened, glazed surface on them, okay? And then you put that brand new pad up against that hardened, glazed surface, and guess what it does? It actually kind of glazes up that pad. It don't really get a chance to break in really good, and it kind of glazes it up, and you'll end up having a lot of brake squeak, okay? On a set of pads that may not have given you brake squeak if you actually machine the rotors and or replace the rotors. So your question, should I replace them each time? I would either replace them or machine them. This day and time, I think we're getting a lot of the rotors and stuff out there are probably being made in China, and the prices of them are actually a lot more reasonable than they were probably, when I first got in this business. So a lot of rotors actually get replaced on cars these days because of the fact that it's almost cheaper for the customer than it is to have someone machine the rotors, okay? Now, I'm still kind of old school. I would rather, if I have enough material on a factory rotor, okay, I would rather machine that rotor and keep that factory rotor on that car versus a cheap rotor, okay? And it's kind of funny. I went to a class one time. I went to a brake class. Some of the places I've worked at over the years, they had a lot of good, they tried to keep mechanics up to date and everything. They'd send you to different classes and stuff from time to time, on their bill. They'd pay for the class. And I remember I went to a class one time, and the guy that was teaching it, he had a factory rotor, and he held it up, and he took a wrench, and he hit it with the wrench, and it went ding, and quit pretty quick, okay? It was kind of a dull sound, like a ding, and then went away like that. And then he picked up a brand new, cheaper rotor, like one of the ones you're going to get from most of the part stores that you deal with, hit it with the wrench, and it went ding, and kept ringing, okay? And his explanation was that's the difference between a good rotor and a cheap rotor, and it will eliminate some of your brake noise, okay? Because with that that cheaper rotor that wants to sing for a longer period of time, that brake squeak gets magnified, okay? When you do have a brake squeak issue, it sounds even worse than it really is because you got cheap rotors on the car, okay? So that's one little point. I've always kind of thought about that, and try to keep that in mind. So I like the machine rotors if I can, especially if they're factory rotors or whatever. But, this day and time, unless you have a brake lathe of your own, or we do have one here out in the shop, and or you have a local shop near you that might cut rotors for you, carry in rotors for 10 or $15 a piece. Unless you have that type of access, you're probably better off just buying rotors, okay? And I would go ahead and purchase them every time I replace pads, because you're going to get a better brake job. Not going to get as much brake squeak, and it's probably going to last longer, okay? You're going to get more miles. You're going to probably get, 35,000 miles out of a front set of pads if you do that. Okay, I hope I answered that question for you, Pablo. All righty. Any more questions out there, guys? We got 6 people here with us. Fire away. I'm here for another, let's see here. Wow, I've actually went for 24 minutes already. I can't believe that. Yeah, this was going to be a 30-minute show. We may go over a little bit if we get some people asking some questions. And also, I do want to know, this is our second show that we done. We done our first one last Saturday night. And I was kind of wondering if there would be a better night to do a show. So I picked Thursday. I picked tonight, okay? I was thinking maybe a weeknight was a little bit better. I want to see how you guys feel about this. If you like this night for a little 30-minute question and answer show, just let me know. If this sounds good to you. Or if you want me to move back to Saturday night, prime time, right in the middle of all the good stuff on TV. I don't know. I don't watch too much TV. Maybe there's better stuff on during the week. I don't know. Let's see. What kind of paint do I use on the house? Okay, I used Behr Marquee. Okay, which is supposedly Behr's best paint. Okay, I will tell you this: it's about $50 a gallon. All right, it's the most costly one they have over there. It claims to be a one-coat paint, although I did put 2 coats on everything, and I just like to do that. I just want to make sure, because sometimes, like around the edges and stuff, you might see it a little thin. So I put 2 coats on everything. But the Behr Marquee is what I used on the house, and I may use that on the garage, or I may actually downgrade a little bit and use something, because I might have to buy a lot of paint to do that garage. All that siding on there, that's going to soak up a lot of paint. So I'll check into it when I go up there to buy the paint for that. But on the house here, the Behr Marquee is a very good paint. It covers real well, and I highly recommend it. And you don't paint your home very often. You might as well use the best stuff you can get when you paint your home. So that's why I went with the Behr Marquee. And you can get that at Home Depot. Okay, we got another question here. What kind of videos will you be releasing in the coming weeks? Okay, all right. Guys, we didn't release a whole lot this week because I actually just kind of didn't get a whole lot of stuff done. I mean, although I have still been working on the house project. We definitely are tomorrow. I am making the video on making the tool for removing the nails. I've been promising Jim in Idaho. Still failed to get that done earlier in the week. So that is the first thing on my agenda tomorrow. Well, actually the second thing on my agenda, I'm going to get out here and finish up this little area that I painted before the rain comes tomorrow afternoon. But shouldn't take me very long. So I'm definitely going to be making the video on the nail remover tool for removing nails on a roof. We got that coming up. I'm always having ideas for videos, and a lot of times if I just go out in the shop and I start straightening up, putting things back or whatever, I come up with an idea, especially for the Young Mechanic series. It don't take much. I mean, my mind just gets to working, and I'll think of something, and I'll stop and make a video. So we'll definitely have some Young Mechanics videos coming. There is one video that I would like to put together for the Young Mechanics, because I've talked about saving money on tools and everything. And what I really want to do is really sit down and do some research and actually put together a tool set. Like I would pretend like I don't have any tools, okay? And I'm going to work tomorrow, day one, at a shop. What would I buy? You know, what would I do if I was just starting out, you know? And I'm gonna see if I can put together, I'll do a video on that, and I'll have a list of tools wherever I find them on the internet, you know, and that all will be down in the description of the video. It's gonna take me a little time. That's one of the videos that has been in the back of my mind to do here for a while, but I know it's gonna take a lot of preparation because I want to really make sure they're good tools, quality tools, the best price that I can find and everything. So if someone watched that video and they said, well, hey, let's just do what Minthillbilly says. Let's just go buy this stuff. You know, I want it to be, you know, good. You know, I want it to work out good for the person. So that's definitely one video that I've been thinking about doing. We got another question here. Dan Riley, let's see. I really love your videos, Bobby. I've been a sub for about 5 years now. I found your channel when I was doing some brickwork around my house. Your video was great and helpful. Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad that video was helpful. Okay. I think I know which one you're probably. It might be the video of me fixing some loose bricks on my front steps out here. I done a video on that a while back. Well, I'm glad to have you as a subscriber, and glad that you chimed in tonight and watched our show tonight. Thank you, sir. Alrighty. Okay, guys. Let's see here. We went about 30 minutes. I may hang on here a few more minutes and see if, okay. That was the one, and he said, that was the video, and it was great. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. All right. I'm going to go over my little advertisement list here one more time. Once again, we got a new email address, minthillbillymail@AOL. If there's a question I don't ever get to, you can email questions and stuff to that, and I'll try to answer that as best I can. And you got till midnight tonight if you want to become a patron on Patreon, and you can for as little as $1 a month, and you will be entered in our drawing tomorrow for this 34-piece tool set behind me. Let me just pull it over here and let you look at it a little closer. It's a DeWalt tool set. Looks like there's a 3/8 ratchet, a couple extensions, and an adapter. Looks like there's some 3/8 sockets on this side and some 1/4-inch ones down here close to the bottom. There's 3/8 sockets on this side as well, and some 1/4-inch ones at the bottom. There's a little adapter for that. Also looks like there's a little 3/8 adapter to go into a cordless impact that is in the set as well. Okay, we will be giving this away tomorrow. We might make a video of the drawing, okay, and maybe I'll get my kids involved, and we'll cut the little piece, put the people's names on a piece of paper and put it in a hat, and maybe have my son draw out the winner or what have you. So anyway, we got that coming up. Also, guys, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter as well, and you can find the links below if you would like to follow us there. We got one more question here. Let's see, Dan says, what sort of paint should I use to paint the brake calipers on my WRX? It came from the factory with red painted calipers, and I would like to repaint them. Okay. Dan, I've done a couple videos on painting calipers and painting like caliper brackets, and even painting the vents on some brand new rotors and the little hubs and everything. And what I've used on it is engine paint. High temperature engine paint seems to work just fine. And it should work fine for you, unless you're actually out there really, racing around and getting them brakes really hot, like on a race car. Like if you go like to a racetrack or something, like on a Saturday night short track place, you know, you'll see the rotors turn cherry red when they go into the corner. I wouldn't recommend, you know, getting them that hot, but regular engine paint, high temp engine paint, comes in several different colors. You know, black, red, Chevy orange, Ford blue, whatever. Any of those should work just fine. Okay. And I've done a couple sets. I had a customer. The first set I done was for a customer that had a Honda Prelude. I done a lot of work to that car, and he wanted all the calipers and everything painted red. And so we done all of that, and it turned out really nice. He was happy with it. That was front and rear on that car. And then when I done my Buick, I actually took the time to spray paint. I just wanted them black, you know, I just wanted like gloss black. So I took the time to spray everything on my Buick when I done it. And it still looks nice, you know, when you get out there and clean the car and you pressure wash it and you pressure wash the wheels and everything. I mean, the brakes still, the calipers and everything still look nice and black, shiny and everything. So it looks pretty good. But that should work for you, Dan. Okay. Do we have any more questions? I will hang in here a few more minutes and answer a few more if you have them. We have 6 people still with us tonight. I want to thank every one of you for being here tonight. Appreciate you coming by, stopping by, and hanging out with me. We're going to try to keep doing this. We're going to try to do it every Thursday night now. We will try to stick with Thursday night. And you know, I have a topic, okay? And I guess I'll go ahead and let you know now. I was thinking about it. You're welcome, Dan. You're very welcome, okay? I had an idea, something I don't know if, you know, I wanted to have a discussion. Maybe it'd be a good thing to have on this show here. And the topic is the fact that our school systems have done away pretty much with vocation. You know, like I don't know how schools are in your part of the country, but around here, high schools, back in my day, they had auto mechanics, they had home ec, they had wood shop, and even in junior high, we called it junior high back then, now they call it middle school, okay? But we even had wood shop and home ec even in middle school, if you want to call it, or junior high, you know, back then. And now we don't have any of that, okay? And I just want to know your thoughts on that. I think, I don't know what happened to it, but I really think that we need to, maybe there's something we can do. I don't know what to do. Maybe you guys have some answers. Maybe we can have a discussion about that next week. Because, you know, not everyone is so-called college material. And I think if some of the younger folks, when they're in school, if they get a chance to, you know, use a hammer and a nail and use a saw or something like that, or turn a wrench or whatever, they might actually find an interest, you know, at a younger age that might spark a career path for them. And I just feel like we're not getting, I just feel like we need to have the vocation and stuff put back in the school system, okay? So I'd like to maybe we can, anybody that watches this video, even after we play tonight, I mean, if you think I got a good idea here for a discussion, you know, maybe we'll make next Thursday night that discussion, and we can maybe pull some ideas together to see what we can do to maybe get some change in our school systems, okay? Because I think it's a shame that we've done away with that, okay? A lot of good paying jobs out there for skilled labor, and I just think we're losing it, okay? So that's my opinion. See what you guys think about it. Maybe we can have a discussion about it next Thursday, okay? And we'll still do Thursday at 9 p.m. Guys, I'm going to wrap this up. We've went about 40 minutes. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here this evening. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe. And once again, I'll go through my list here. We are... our email address is minthillbillymail@AOL. minthillbilly.com. We will have the drawing for the tools tomorrow. Okay, you have until midnight tonight if you want to become a patron on Patreon. And of course, we're on Facebook and Twitter, and those links will be down below. And we will also find a link to this little paintbrush right here. You've got to have one of these suckers. All right, guys, thank you very much for stopping by today, and have a wonderful evening. And keep on the lookout for some videos coming up this weekend and next week. Take care, guys.